Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios, weekly wing it number 59 here on Rumble and YouTube. And here with us tonight, starting off, Billy Bobsack.
Kablow!
It's the first word he said since he's been on. I was worried you weren't there. And tonight with us, till about for about the next hour, is Black Knight.
Take it away,
Hello.
Black Knight.
Welcome back, Black Knight. Good to have you on again.
Yeah, I'm sorry for living in this specific time zone.
What time is it for you?
It's 3 a.m.
Oh, thanks for try. He keeps saying he's been apparently trying to make himself sick because you keep missing sleep.
Yeah.
And even so, you still made the time to be here, so thank you.
Yeah,
And also here tonight, Maji-chan.
Hello.
How goes it?
Yeah, it goes. I'm actually more concerned why Herman is red. The red hedge.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him as soon as we get to him.
I read the response to your YouTube post.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought that kind of hurt, and then I laughed. I'm like, "Wow, somebody peed in his Cheerios."
And then I can't. Now I can't find it. So because I do have a full bladder and I will pee in his cherry.
Here, I can read it so you can find it. I'm kind of curious about it now.
Well, also with us tonight for a little while, Readout Productions. Readout, how are you with those stream marathons you've been running?
Oh yeah, it's been great. The past week was a blitz, and this week won't be as much of a blitz, but it'll still be reductive because 3, 2, and this week's episode of Retracing History is just finished processing. Now the computer won't catch on fire. Well, there still's a whole story.
It still might. I mean, this is the wing it. Things happen. Stormcrow.
Hello, my lovelies. Read out. I've been paying special attention to you, little friend. Thank you so much for having Captain Gearhead.
Wow, that's creepy.
Yeah. Are you trying to do the supervillain vibe?
No. That I saved that for Saturday. You know, I my evil for our sessions, sir.
That got weird. I'm arming up.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of scared.
Well, hold on. Let me let's see what you got here. Oh, okay, I see. Is that Demolition Man?
Yeah, that's Phoenix, Leslie Snipes' character.
Oh.
Particularly after he shopped through the Museum of Late 20th Century Firearms.
Yeah, is there a 2-week waiting period, or can I just take one of these now?
Oh, you think Wesley Snipes is going to protect you from me? Interesting.
Well, between you being very cryptic, creepy, and Herman being the red hedge, I'm kind of concerned now.
And wondering what he walked into tonight is Frederick.
Oh, poor Frederick.
Hey, coming to you from Quebec City, Quebec, Canada, People's Republic of Canada. And I just dropped a bunch of coffee on my mechanical pencil, so I think it's going to be an all-nighter.
Oh. No, what? Well, I got you here. Am I finally getting this right? Is it Guimont?
It's Guimont.
Guimont.
Yes.
Yes.
I was never even close. Wow.
No, but
Whichever.
that's okay.
We appreciate our Canadian brothers.
Well, thank
But I
you.
do think you said it's fun for you to watch how people try to pronounce it and how wrong they get it.
Yeah,
I kind of get that because a lot of people get my last name pronounced in all sorts of different ways, and it is sometimes entertaining.
Yeah, it's hard
Well,
to
it is
pronounce
funny that I got it
frequency.
correct.
And, I'm a Generation X, so we don't get offended easily. It takes a lot.
Look. You
I'm Gen X too. I think we're just oblivious.
You complain about your name being misspelled. I hate it when people try to say my name. It sounds way too what's the politically correct way of saying it?
I am very worried about where this is going.
We are not doing
Whatever.
political correctness.
Okay, it sounds very spin.
All right, that's enough. Herman, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm angry.
Yes.
I'm an
He's a
angry young
redhead.
hedge. I'm an angry young hedge.
Ooh.
You can feel the
anger.
heat off of the flames from his bush from here.
Full
I'm
of
fattening
fire.
my wings.
Phrasing,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
There's
Give
the
me
burning
give me
bush.
the hatred. Give me the hatred, man. But enough with the peace and love. Give me the hatred here.
Okay, I hate you. A lot.
Oh, I hate you too. Let's burn the world together.
I was
my
not
man.
expecting that, Herman.
That's so perfect.
He
All
said,
right.
give me the hatred. Okay, I hate you. Well, you-
All
I
right.
hate
All
you
right. On the
too.
chat side of the show, first in tonight, Nikolai Powell. He says, "Bip bop boop." No, bip bop boob. Yeah, I like that version better. Guilty
Beep,
Gearhead says, "Good evening, everyone."
Evening, guilty.
Skunks Workshop. Fu Man Blue also here. Good evening, everyone.
I can't believe I haven't typed guilty yet.
Arangmar Virillion is in two places at once.
He's double dipping. Stop double
Animation
dipping, sir.
Overload says, "Hail all."
It's quadruple dipping.
Andrew Campbell, big ups. Maji Chan also doing that quantum bilocation thing.
Eh, overcomplicated for me. I'm just here.
Hey, you're our science nerd. Wait a minute. I think we all go into science nerd territory, don't we?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
AC Pritchard says, "The horns of battle call."
Yes, sir. And I am their flag bearer of blood and death. Let's go
Nikolai.
forward into the world.
It's been a while since I've seen
Sea and
Nikolai.
ashes.
Yeah, it's pretty late where he is too, I think. Nikolai, what time is it where you are?
It should be 3 in... Oh, no. I
Are
think
you
he's-
guys in the same time zone?
No.
No.
No, it should be probably maybe 2 in the morning.
Yeah. So, how are things in the ever-expanding universe of Star Shatter?
Huh. Well, it's
Oh,
it's
jeez.
how should I say it? It's okay. I've been working on the 8th book of the main series, plus a ton of side stories, most of which for Substack and my Patreon. And of course, the 3rd Valid novella, which after the humble success of the 1st and the 2nd.
That's a novella. Holy crap.
This is Blood of Tyrants. This is
Oh,
you said a series of side stories. This is an anthology,
That's
correct,
another-
Black Knight?
Yeah, that's not the Valiant series. Yeah, that's the second anthology I released. That's the novella. It's like,
Black Knight.
it's
Like-
small. This one is the small one.
I was about to say, dude, is there like one word per page on that other one? That's a novella.
Black Knight. Do you understand that I can beat someone to death with that book?
Yes, that's the
That's the goal. It's a secret self-defense mechanism.
one of the applications you can
I use that book to as a wedge to lock my door at night to keep the Illuminati out.
It's the large
Yeah.
print
No.
edition,
you can
like really large, like
you can
huge
smite-
freaking print.
you can smite you can successfully smite vile commie slavers over the head with it.
Yes! Beautiful commie slaughter commences with these books.
But
In
see,
Minecraft.
in Minecraft, yes.
And perhaps a bit in Star Shatter.
And now a word from our sponsor, the Chinese Communist Party.
No, so I just finished reading Twin Sons of Corolla. And
CCP coming to a country near you.
We love our dear leader over here in China.
Yes.
I don't know.
well, you have a different dear leader in Canada, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mao Tse Justin.
Most
How much are you fucking Frenchie? You're not even fucking. You don't even have the nerve to execute your fucking political class anymore. What kind of Frenchman are you? Shit.
It's more like Chairman Zoolander. It's really, really good looking.
You guys,
But-
you guys are horrible French people. You're supposed to execute the people you hate with guillotines.
Stormcrow-
Yeah, whatever.
We were conquered hundreds of years ago, so we're underground right now.
Well, get out of the ground, man. I'm tired of seeing fucking commies everywhere.
Well, speaking of overthrowing the conquerors, Black Knight. About how many stories are in this particular?
A lot. Plus one full bonus novella, which you can see on the cover of the book. You can see Outlaw Rider. That's the bonus novella I included.
I'm just gonna bring one up on screen instead of holding up to the camera.
Yeah, and a couple more novelettes, which, let's say, it's thick. It's quite thick. I think
is.
it's about like close to 700 pages. That includes the comprehensive glossary.
It was
The glossary is not
667. I think.
yeah. So you have Sword and Sorcery, which is a pure sword and railgun story. Where you have a short one about like the Terran Minarchist ghostly stormtrooper corpse. You have a story about the Second World War in the Star Shattered universe, which features it's titled The Flying Wolves. It features like a very beloved character of mine, which I wrote some years ago, who is a French pilot, and he is somewhat unique, deviates from the standard
That's a cool cover. right there.
heroic pilot archetype. He's not a fighter pilot. He is a cargo plane pilot. So yeah, you'll see. And then you have one of the bonus novelettes, which is about an intrepid Tezaran tank crew. Well, and those of you who like the Tezarans, the Tezaran Imperium, even though they are the baddies, you will love this one.
Now,
It's set back in the day when they kind of joined the pirate clans and invaded Sirius Prime. And they quickly discovered that it's kind of like Vietnam but on steroids. And the smart Tezarans were like, no, we do not want to die here. We will find a way to get out of here and save our asses. And it's one of the more unique stories in the settings where you're actually reading everything from the point of view of the antagonists.
so
Well, you do
Sir,
that
what
well
you're
too,
saying is-
because at one point you actually had me rooting for Nadal.
I love Nadal so much.
Don't
He's so-
dare! Don't you dare
such a piece
spoil!
of shit.
Don't you dare spoil this!
I'm
this,
not
like,
giving nothing away. It's just at
What are you
one
gonna-
point you had me rooting for him a little bit. just a
when
little.
you get
Let me
to
go
when
sh-
you get yeah when you get to book 3, you'll see.
Let me just gush real quick. Hold on.
Is this
Let
a
me- let me
silent
get-
gush?
No. Let me just gush for 1 minute. People here, if you have not read the Star Shadow books, Nadal and Omasa are two of my very, very favorite villains of the entire series. Thank you. And that's for a simple reason. If you guys love Megatron and Starscream, that whole dynamic, you're going to love Nadal and
I didn't even
Omasa.
think about that, but now that you mentioned it, I can kind of see it.
It kind of
Yes.
evolves. It evolves. It doesn't stay the same because they constantly change.
Oh, it was in
Um,
constant change in just that one book.
Yeah.
But the
it's-
progression seemed very organic.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
there is one beautiful woman in the Tsaran camp that kind of makes me want to switch sides just slightly, but I'm still a firm Terran. Her name is Tali,
Yes.
and listen, I am not a traitor, but I love her anyway. She's so like overtly like, yes, I will betray you at one point, so please be worthy of my loyalty. And Omaza is just like, okay, great. She's trying to warm up to me. She's trying to kill me. And she falls for that hook, line, and sinker. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. He's actually intelligent. He's actually intelligent, too. That's hot.
There did
Yeah.
seem to be a slight degree of she's trying to kill me. I think I like her.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's
Listen, I love the Tsarans, man. They're so overtly like treacherous and evil. I just love me some good old fashioned evil bad guys for the sake of evil, you know?
and
They're like
by
a
the-
whole bunch of first Aladdin movie Iagos.
Yeah. It's one of the things when I was developing their culture, it's they the ruthlessness is in their basically in their DNA. They can't. I mean, some of them are less ruthless, but I mean that's a society that if they need money, if they're down on their luck, they will literally sell themselves into military service, or like something like that. That it, it's nice. And if I might copy the words of one person who years ago read the first book, and then he read it in the second book and claimed that the Zarans were cardboard cutout villains.
No.
That was, I mean, what can I say?
I mean, I'm trying to figure that. Perhaps when you had the like a whole bunch of jobbers that were like, out there on the front lines that are pretty much treated like cannon fodder.
yeah.
You're
that's-
going to see that in almost every kind of battle movie or
yeah,
story
you're
scenario.
gonna see it in the reality.
Yeah.
It's like just read the memoirs of some general, and you're going to see it in reality. Just look what happened during the Napoleonic Wars. For God's sake, I mean that's enough. That's plenty enough.
Oh boy, gentlemen, I'm gonna go quiet for a minute. There was a car crash right in front of me, so
Ooh, you gotta be careful.
I don't. It doesn't look like anyone died, but it is very inconvenient for me right now. So I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was um I was I was planning on writing, doing more of the language that they're using, and the French speak language, which most of the civilizations who inhabit this part of space use, including the Tazarans themselves. But I mean, I'm not a linguist. I just I know what my limitations are. You just I was not going to bullshit myself and say like, oh yes, I'm going to create this and write that and edit this and do that and blah blah blah. No. But still,
I think there are actually programs designed to make a language. Of course, it has to be based on the structure of an existing language. Like you could feed word. I mean, the program comes up with a thing. You feed words into the computer, and it gives you symbols and a sentence structure, and you can end up with a
Let
very
me-
consistent language. But it
Do
always has that
you-
syntax correlation to whatever language you based it
no,
on.
it's not gonna work. Let me see. I can read you a couple of words, and you will forgive me for taking a minute. But let's say I know Stormcrow likes Nettle. A lot of people like Nettle, and also Omasa. But Nettle, because he is an infantryman, I mean, he is a quote unquote heavy infantryman. He did develop the battle cry for the coalition, which is derived from the same language, and one of the most favorite words for Tazarans. And basically Tazaran, the word Tazaran itself, its meaning is victorious, be victorious. So for example, victory for the coalition, which is a sweet and short battle cry, would be Taz e Nekda. Sounds a bit Klingonish, right?
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to bolt, so I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for hanging.
No problem.
Hey.
Fun.
Oh, it just got cold in here.
It's like somebody put the
Yeah.
fire out.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of the little things that I'm not overusing these. I'm never going to write like entire, let's say, parts of the book in this language, because it's not okay. But
It's not going to be anywhere near enjoyable, is it?
no. But things like that, something short, like a word here, a word there, or like a small sentence. Like let's say how one of my favorite writers did in his books, where you have like an ancient writing on some wall in the temple, or on a stela, and then the character with the appropriate knowledge like reads, like cleans the chiseled rock and traces the letters or the hieroglyphs and said, oh, this means the golden eagle of the Imperium or whatever. This like something like that is okay. That's the unacceptable limits. But I think
I got to start writing those down myself. I have characters who will say something
Yeah.
in a different language, but I got to write those down before they become too numerous. So I always have them to double check to make sure I stay consistent.
Yeah. Same here. What was the about you? The thing that you were about to ask me about about Twin Sons. I think you mentioned you had like a couple of questions.
Oh no, I didn't have any particular questions. But there was some stuff that was clarified by. I got to thank you for putting a glossary in the back of that book.
Oh yeah,
That did make a difference. I kind of wasn't doing that either until some of the folks on this panel said, "Hey, why don't you do a glossary?" Like,
well, we use them. Use them because they are very useful and the readers love them.
Don't take this the wrong way, Black Knight, but I can just see myself just going right to the glossary and just reading all of that and like, oh yeah, there's a whole rest of this novel.
Yeah, I mean, when I was
informational text, here I go.
I think it was like a good 20 pages worth of glossary there. I mean,
yeah, when I was a teenager, that's that.
I respect
pretty
that.
much. I would do that. It's, whenever I get a new book, something science fiction, and it actually had a glossary. I would go first. I will go there first, read everything in the glossary, so I wouldn't have to like flip pages when I'm engrossed in the story and reading about the battles and the characters and whatnot. It's like, no, I already know that I read the glossary. So yeah, it's
what's nice is you put all the information we need to know what it is in the book, but because you don't want to just put like pages and pages of exhibition dumping, it'll get a little spread out, and trying to track it all down when you forget something like that's did normal. In Star Shatter was a bit of a pain in the neck. And now that glossary's there, I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, that nice. Now I know what's going on. But I like how you have things just as they are in the world. You don't do mass unnecessary expedition dumps to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes you have to, and sometimes they work well. But you know,
in when you have to. I mean, it's like this is part of the process. But and don't get me wrong. I mean, the sci-fi and especially space opera stuff. Sometimes you absolutely have to explain how certain mechanics in this universe work, because the audience of that genre, they demand it. And if you don't do it, I mean, it's not for everything. You're not literally explaining absolutely everything.
But sometimes, damn it, we like our technobabble.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that cool enemy ship like that starfighter that enemy ace or that mech that the enemy pilot is using. Oh, you better tell me how it looks. You better tell me what weapons does it have. Like, how does he? It's like, how is it all enabling that enemy or that hero to fight, which makes the battles later more elaborate and more engrossing and more engaging. I mean, you don't always have to do it, but for certain iconic pieces of tech, you're most certainly obliged to do it. Otherwise, your readers will hate you. It's like, ooh, you keep telling us about that special tank, but you're just mentioning it.
Black
We
Knight,
want to know more about it.
if I may ask, I am developing my own glossary. It is mostly a timeline of events leading up to the main story. Does that count, or is a glossary specifically for races?
No, you can structure it pretty much however you want, but
I mean, from the
has to
technical
be-
sense, a glossary is a definition of words and concepts.
Yeah,
Where it sounds like
yeah.
you're looking more for like a timeline, like you're trying to show like here's the world's like timeline before and go in the background.
Yeah, I mean, if I would add an event there, that would be probably one singular event, just one of them, not all of them. Otherwise, it's gonna be it's going to be a bit not strange, but you need the space in the glossary for iconic technology, iconic organizations in the universe, characters,
Oh.
specific characters, important characters,
Oh.
words like the technobabble words that you're heavily using them across the series. That's basically what sci-fi space opera.
King
all
Bob.
about.
Oh, good.
That's yeah. Glossaries are for classicists, of course.
I am a member. I am a proud member of the Glossary KKK. I am a very proud lieutenant of the organization, and we are always looking for new members. Anyone wants to join us?
You cut in and out, but whatever it was you said, the bits that came stringing together didn't sound so good. But anyway, yeah, I looked through your glossary. I'm like, oh wow, this is a good chunky glossary. Then I look back at my own. I'm like, I'll do better next time. So, but yeah, what was the Space Max? They were like usually about 60 feet long. What were those called again? Not TAs.
Yeah.
Those are the TAs.
Yeah, the tactical armors. They are probably as big as the starfighter, the standard starfighter. And
yeah, because I was going to say it looks like they're pretty much wearing a fighter jet.
I mean, the standard starfighter is much easier to produce and operate and maintain. And the tactical armors. I mean, all mechs of like any size, they are expensive to produce and to operate in the field and to maintain. And pretty much they're used for elite units, or like special operators. And civilizations who are rich, star states which are quite rich, they can allow themselves to field like even regular army units of these, like the Tazaran Imperium, for example. They have attached to each army corps, they have like these heavies, which are the smaller mechs, the 15 feet tall mechs, which are called the power armors. They have them. They have a lot of them, but they are of cheaper quality. And just like in any army, they have been produced by the lowest bidder. I mean, that's reality.
Now, Black Knight,
yeah,
let me ask you something. Are these mechs, the elite mechs, and Readout Productions can agree on me on this, are they piloted by 14-year-old children to send out to fight wars?
No.
Okay, then they are not elite mechs.
They have specially trained pilots But I mean, if push comes to shove, some teenagers might pilot them, but it's not like.
So, to quote the Soviet Union hero Viktor Reznov, who took out all of Nazi Germany, the old, the weak, the young. You don't want a military to get to that point. That's pretty bad. Just want to throw it out there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when the knife hits the bone and you are about to die, of course, everyone will fight. But before that, I mean that's the end pretty much. But before that, you have your specifically selected people and pilots who have spent years in military academies, and they have thousands upon thousands of pilot hours in the mechs. And
And engineers
course.
like King Bob, who says he can build them for you out of popsicle sticks. Is that cheap enough?
Yeah. If only if they're Tazaran popsicle sticks. We don't accept like cheap popsicle sticks.
No
Yeah,
Canadian popsicle sticks.
General Nettle. He was from the Tazaran Power Armor Corps. He was like he started as a mecha pilot.
What do these run on anyway for fuel?
Oh, they have reactors. They have fusion reactors. They have fusion reactors. They have heat sinks. They have all sorts of motors inside. It's the idea is that the mech is a specific and quite useful kind of a vehicle that allows the pilot to operate much heavier armaments and equipment than he would otherwise be limited to small stuff like handheld rifles or whatever other armaments. And it's pretty much they're used pretty much for support or special operations or attacks against heavily defended positions, or to fight off other power armors. I mean, these are the most widely used mechs in the Star Shuttle universe. That's because they're the smallest and the quote unquote cheapest. Other than that, normal armies who don't have like tons of cash and production capabilities, higher tier production capabilities, they stick to tanks. Tanks do well. Tanks, AFVs, other armor personnel characters, carriers.
Now, when you say tank, I'm imagining they look a little different than what pops.
Oh yeah. They have like mostly graph tanks, like flying, quote unquote, flying tanks. That's the
Could
standard.
you explain the Gav drives a little?
Well, it's I'm not going into like super hard sci-fi details because it's unneeded. But basically, these engines, they operate by gliding the machine over like the natural magnetic field of the planet. And in some cases, there are magnetic anomalies on certain planets or planetoids, whatever. They can't like you can't use these machines there with great success. So Yeah, it's a great advantage. They're fast. You can float over bodies of water or other types of terrain, difficult terrain, which wheeled or tracked vehicles can't just traverse. But and there are also limitations. And
Yeah, I'd
yeah,
imagine piloting one of these things might be a little bit like trying to play asteroids.
yeah, pretty much. It's the drivers of these tanks are they're not just normal. You don't stuck a normal grunt there. It's not easy to pilot these machines. And when we are talking about these machines specifically, um, in the new book, in the new anthology that you just showed in the beginning of the stream, there is that story I mentioned about a group of Tazarans, like a Tazaran tank crew. That's exactly. It describes everything about this type of mechanized warfare and all of its glorious miseries.
There we go. Just trying to get back to the page, and it eluded me for a moment.
Yeah, it's they're quite a team, that crew of the tank crew.
And I just dropped a link in the chat for that specific book. But as I think everybody knows, that you could just go to that button right there, Black Knight, click on it from there, and there's all the books.
And you should
Yep.
all buy them. Buy them. I commanded. Buy these books. Buy them all.
Only
Hmm.
buy
Start
what
Pokemon
you can. Only buy what you can read. I mean, let's
No.
be realistic.
No. No. Buy them. I want everyone to give you money. Everyone give Black Knight money. He deserves it. He deserves it more than Disney. So give him money. Right now.
I'll definitely agree with it better than Disney.
Yeah, this is the second telenovela. Um, this is the aforementioned bunker where uh, a lot of quite horrible things happen, and this entry in the series is a bit like the bunker horror movies a little bit.
But this one's larger than the first villain, right?
Yeah, a little bit larger, but it's still a novella. It's not a huge book. They're all going to be of that format, of the Conan-esque format. They're not going to be huge. Quick and easy to read. And also, I try to make them, to price them off like low, so they'd be affordable.
Yeah. Now, how many languages again do you speak?
Well,
3?
Yeah, realistically, you can say that I can speak 3 languages.
That's at the start of the day. By the end of the day, how many can you speak?
No. Let's not go there.
I would imagine with multiple languages in the head and you get tired, you can. Excuse me for one moment.
Yeah, I kind of when you get a couple of bumps on your head, you kind of mix some of the grammar and sentence structure, but it's fixable. You just have to work more, work longer hours. That's it.
But every time I work longer and longer, my brain turns into pink fluid. I don't think it's supposed to be a liquid. I thought brain is supposed to be solid.
You fool.
Yeah,
You
but
fool. All best things are made of liquid, just like heroin.
But
Like
at
heroin.
least your I guess what my brain has evolved into, I guess it turns into a good product. I guess that's the trade-off, right? Right, Black Knight.
yeah, it's one of the friends who helps me with like proofreading. He says like I first I read it for myself, then I read for my wife, and then I and then I read it then I read it for the typos, and then I read it for the grammar. So it's like I'm reading it for like about 4 or 5 times at least. So yeah, it's worthy, but you gotta have these like uh, you gotta have support, because you can do a lot of things by yourself, but not everything. Pretty much.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Yo. Yeah, so that's about the tanks and the graph technology. Yeah, I make sure that my inner nerd is happy.
Yeah, I typically try and figure how much do I need to answer about the way something works, and then I try to ask just like one layer further than that to make sure I don't run into any oopsies on that level. It's like I always try and go one layer deeper in how it works than I'm going to need, so hopefully I can that way avoid
Yeah,
any
it's
contradictions.
you just like give some explanation. Just don't go into Medichlorian territory. That's faking gay. That's
Yeah.
Never go full
Although
midichlorian.
I did not like the midichlorian thing at all. Although I am curious to know where he wanted to go with that, because there was something
I
called
think
the
that
wills.
was
I was going to hook into that, and I was just curious what the mythology he was setting up was going to
I
be.
think that was an oopsie. I think that was a massive oopsie with the Medichlorians. That was a huge oopsie.
It can't be worse than anything Disney has made in the past couple of
Yeah,
years, though.
yeah, that
The
I
sad
agree.
part is, growing up, everybody would grievance and go over and over and rip on the midichlorian plot point. And now here we are, like, was it we're 20 plus years removed from that bomb being dropped, and that bomb was just a tiny little pebble compared to the nuke that Disney Star Wars is today.
Yeah, we wish their biggest complaint was midichlorians.
The
Yeah, we
witches of
wish.
Gothamir and how the force is potentially witchcraft.
The witches of the boy. This is like I had a chat with another reader of mine who loves Kera, the Star Witch, and she was like, she just watched. I mean, she suffered through like the ass shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, I can't stand them. I can't stand these fucking Datumiri witches. Like everything has to be this about them. Everything is about them. Come on. Ugh.
Yeah.
That is why you are a good friend, sir. You make good books with good characters that Disney are incapable of making. Therefore, that is why we all should give you money. Everyone,
Go
give
buy
me
now.
money. Go buy now.
Andrew Campbell says, I concentrate on the prose, narrative, characters, and characterization before technical details.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but
I love technology, but I'd much rather see how my characters react to the technology instead of describing the technology. You know?
yeah,
Oh,
but
absolutely. It all
sometimes
comes down to the characters. That's what it's all about. But when you're building out a world, you kind of can't help but ask yourself those questions, and
you gotta
you
have
get
like
into building it, and
yeah, you gotta
and they say
set up
don't fall in that trap of forever world building. But
oh yeah, that too. And it's like if like you said earlier, if you have like the simple stuff set up from the very beginning and you keep track of them, you're not gonna do stupid like they did like the one of the many hundreds of stupids that Disney did in their quote unquote Star Wars movies. Let's like the Holdo maneuver, which is pretty much that was no, just no.
What was it that Critical Drinker called her? I think it was Admiral Gender Studies or something like that.
Yeah.
The message.
Yep, pretty much. It's like, I have a brilliant plan, and like her own officers like, please, oh glorious leader, tell us about your brilliant plan. Fuck you! I'm not going to tell you about my brilliant plan. Haha.
Yeah, nothing about any of those character interactions made any sense.
Holdo is the worst military commander to ever exist in Disney lore. I wouldn't say of all fiction, but at the very least in Disney lore. God damn, she was stupid.
Even Marquise Zarjana is not that stupid. And Wrangler, you've read the book and you know who Marquise Zarjana is.
Is that sad that
what?
I was happy that Gina Carano got let go because then she wouldn't have to suffer with her own show and ruin her reputation?
I'm very happy that she is free from Disney, yes. And sir, comparing Holdo to Sarjana is, frankly speaking, kind of a disservice to Sarjana.
Yeah.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Losing your job sucks, but at the same time, she literally got free from.
I think her popularity increased because of all that.
She is more successful now than she ever was with that show. It's the truth.
Well, keep in mind, Gina Carano is a professional MMA fighter, so she is literally the embodiment of a strong female.
But let's be honest. Hello, Kahuna. But let's be.
Hello.
Did you notice? I roughly recognized her name before she was fired, but her popularity skyrocketed afterwards.
Oh yeah, no, because like she didn't say anything that outrageous. She was so ordinary, and she got punished so hard for having just a very ordinary opinion, very middle ground opinion.
No, you can't.
It was because they deliberately took it and skewed it in bad faith, which is just all the Twitter mob seems to know how to do.
They were waiting for something like this. So yeah.
Racism, it's like the Force, it's everywhere. It's in all living things.
Yes.
Hail John A. Douglas, thank you for joining us tonight.
Lauren, you want to come say hi?
You should ask Royce about Zentari racism. About Zentari racismus.
That is the reason why That is the reason why
Zentari what? Hello.
Hello.
Cajunito.
Little.
I like how you say that.
It's Cajunito.
Cajunito.
Don't say it like that.
What do you want to tell him?
Don't say it like that.
I want to tell you my dad is a big fan of you.
Oh, that's sweet. Ugh, good kid. Yeah,
Yeah, I was.
X couldn't pick him up today, so we got him. Or go, continue cleaning up, buddy. I'm making dinner. So how's everybody doing?
We are
Well,
discussing
we haven't been
why
banned yet.
Ooh,
I'm trying
surprising.
my hardest to do that. I'm trying my hardest, but apparently I'm not hard enough. I'm not hard enough.
You're not hard enough at your
No,
age. Wait, sorry.
I gotta be Johnny Come Lately hard to make it work.
So Maji, I heard you were picking fights today with the internet. How'd that go?
No, it was just a simple compliment that I
Super
should have
good.
known better not to make
How
being
the
part of
nerve?
this sphere.
The
Yeah,
nerve
she go-
on you.
Yeah, there was a lone wolf from the actually gang. They went out and launched
No,
an
it's
assault
not a
toward
lone
Machi.
wolf. I actually deleted the comment because there was like 8 of them.
Oh jeez.
Ooh.
Marquise
Were they all-
Zarjana. Okay.
Were they
Yeah,
all in
you
like
remember her.
unison?
You remember her from
I
the
love
anime.
her.
Typically don't comment on things that I dislike anymore. It's only things that I support.
Well, no, that was the
Maji.
thing. I liked it.
Maji.
Dare you?
Were they all in a chorus
Sorry,
in
sorry,
unison,
go,
like a land choir going,
actually.
Well, actually, guys, I don't think Black Knight has any clue what we're discussing. Because that was not. I don't think he saw that
about
post.
to ask.
It's
I was
some
about to
internet
ask
drama,
Magician,
something.
but I couldn't. I did something else instead, which I'm now sorry. So, what the heck are you talking about?
Anybody else want to explain this? Because I think it's weird.
So there was a new documentary dropped by Part-Time Explorer, who is a great channel if you've never got the chance to see. Does high quality documentary on odd, curious events in history. They're not well documented in the public eye. He did a documentary on the SS Atlantic, which was the deadliest ship disaster for the White Star Line before Titanic, of course. So he does stuff like that. Well, he just dropped one about the deadliest train wreck in New Jersey history. I think he is around the New York City area. He tends to do a lot of content there. Great. If you haven't watched it, go see it after watching the stream. And
I watched some of
Yeah,
his.
his video is high quality professional videography. Like
Yeah.
he's got
Well
great
researched.
Sorry, Rito.
So like my stuff. So like my stuff, right?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you complimenting him again, Magi-chan? You
We're,
didn't
we're,
learn
we're
your lesson
talking
yet?
we're talking Missouri Breaks level quality here.
Yeah. Right up there with me. Almost there. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Rito.
Quality man, quality editing, different story. Anyways, no, he has awesome bits. So, Maji made a comment saying how incredible this person was, and that was essentially what the comment was: how great this person was, and that why has nobody ever picked you up? No network, which would be seen by many to be a compliment, but the actually crowd decided to instead go. Actually, you see, the culture has shifted, which, I mean, yes, we already know this. It has shifted, and this person is the mainstream now. This is actually an insult that you've made by comparing them to a network. Actually.
How dare you speak out of turn, woman?
No. Everyone at the same time. Count as me. All right? 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, God damn it, guys. At the same time.
We didn't know where you were going, honestly.
Darn.
So,
Okay,
so that's my interpretation of events. Proceed. Hello, Mini Kahuna. Goodbye, Mini Kahuna.
the last little part of the first comment, keep in mind there was like this whole 8-9 train of them. Your comment almost reads like an insult, but as they say, never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it just kept the board just kept coming in, and I'm sitting there going, I
It
should
was
have
just
known
straight
better
up
than
dripping with
that.
bitterness.
Well, yeah, but worse. It feels like the cancel culture suddenly hopping on the indie bandwagon because they were insulted that I said something about mainstream and that the mainstream needs to die, which is not good.
Well, I just got here, but I'll say this. I mean, you're always going to have those people. They're going to be the ones who enter the room are annoying, they're loud, and they're the minority, and they're the zealots of it all, and they're here to make everybody else look bad.
Here's the problem. Those are the morons that people associate as the gatekeepers. Those people will actually hurt the indie cause more than help them.
And that's why you just got to insult them right back. Call them out for it.
No, that's
Yes,
mean.
do it. It's absolutely. You got to fight fire with fire. They're the ones bringing dynamite to the conversation. You got to bring a freaking nuclear
Well,
warhead.
I see your point, James. This is probably one of those scenarios where it's probably just better off not engage.
Oh, I
Total
deleted the
engagement.
comment.
You alpha strike them. In fact,
No, I
tell
deleted the
them,
comment.
I agree with you completely. Margie,
In fact, you know what? Yeah, Stormcrow, I want you to tell me what you would reply. That's what
Can we say that
love
on
and
air?
understanding. Yeah.
Did you just challenge him, James? Why did you challenge him?
I'm just more concerned about.
Enough. Let me tell you something, Margie, and you need to take this to the heart. Don't be concerned. This is what you need to do. And Black Knight, you agree with me with this too. They are the vocal minority, yes, but they cannot be the gatekeepers. They cannot speak for the rest of us. So what we need to do is what they should have done with the kulaks and the Bolsheviks in your time, Mr. Black Knight.
Okay, that's far enough.
Okay.
Look, see, this is what must be done. Honestly, this is what must be done. All right. Check it out. This is how you got to approach it. You got to put them on blast. Say, well, who are you? Who are you, the arbiter, to speak for everybody else? Did this creator himself come out and did this creator himself come out and attack you? If not, I would say, well, he can speak for himself. Who are you guys? You're making it difficult for more fans to come here. And frankly, it would be a great thing for a production house to take something like this, put multi-million dollars of freaking cash and resources behind it, and elevate it to another freaking level. Why is it bad that we breach the mainstream? Why is it bad that we suddenly start taking over?
People are actively looking. People are actively looking to be offended. Like if people, it's like they're on the lookout. Okay, what can I find in this phrase here that can trigger me? And let me jump on it, and let's get the anger flowing.
Hey.
That's why we call them NPCs. they have like they have to be told what to be offended of, and they're like, this week is like we're offended of, let's say, people who say who use a specific word, or people who like this thing, and people who write certain things or whatever, like, and when they get like new instructions, like when new software is uploaded, the NPC is like on another hate wagon. He's like, yeah, must hate, must hate, must debunk, must screech, must post, comment.
Yeah, you're asking here.
Tell Captain Garrett from Swords and Starships.
Here's my concern about this. Yes, I agree the institutions need to change. Yes, the way the old school method does not work with the current digital changing. Yes, the control that they have over, say, an indie going in, they will try to take control and completely redo it. But at the same time, sometimes in order to destroy a company, you have to do it within. I mean, look at how they infiltrated media. They did it from within. They took over the IPs, they destroyed it, and ruined all the stories, and now we are starting from scratch trying to outdo them and outpace them, which we are winning on that. We are winning, but we do not, as indies, have the resources the mainstream has.
Yes.
Yet.
Okay, that's why we
And
need to
as Captain
build.
Garrett has just posted, he said, there's a because we're in a cultural game of thrones, and in the cultural Game of Thrones, you either win or your IPs die.
There is no middle ground. That is why we must
Yeah.
destroy all the cancerous, rotting, dead IPs, burn them to the
But we
ground.
can't be gatekeepers like they were.
We're not
That's where
gatekeepers. We're retorters. We say, hey, this is what we stand for, and you're going to be as loud as you are because you're trying to become the voice of the position.
If you don't like, this is what I learned from dealing with communists back in the day. If you don't stop them, if you don't bar them from,
They will become a cancer.
If you don't bar them from infiltrating what you love, they will infiltrate it. They can't create, but they are quite good at infiltrating, subverting, and then destroying everything. And they have been doing this for like
hundreds of years.
A long time.
Yes.
So if you can't, I mean, you can't say, yes, we don't want to be gatekeepers like them.
But you gotta keep the gates. You gotta guard against them.
You have to guard against them, but not against everyone, because they will use that. They will use that against you. They will say,
and I will say that what we're discussing here isn't gatekeeping as much as it is like we're retorting to the same degree they are. Don't wholly ignore these a-holes, because one thing I've never had to deal with the dang communists, because I just punch them right in the freaking face. But let me tell you, I've dealt with guys who are kind of authoritarian, like guys who like to steal all the attention, steal all the authority, make all the decisions. And if you don't meet them where they are at the same energy, with the same hostility, they'll just try to socially conquer you. And that's what I see from these douchebags who've probably been hurt by an IP that they had a very unhealthy obsession with.
Much as I hate to say it, you're right, because that's exactly what has happened. Because I'm guilty of this. I like to say, he's being weird. Let him be. Live and let live. But sometimes when you live and let live, the other folks don't see it that way, and they're like,
they trample all over you. They'll just like crush you.
But if the Indies side is gonna make it, we cannot resort to the same toxic mindset as the other side, and that is exactly what I saw just from a simple comment of, "Hey, why aren't you professional?"
Well, you did. I think you should reply something, to like.
Oh, I deleted
however
it,
you
but
feel.
it's
And
just
the reason
still
I
concerning.
say that, the reason I say that is because it's like you said, you don't want this to be the face. And if nobody replies, then that is the face. And they're gonna
because if nobody stops them, then they'll keep taking taking over the area.
No censorship, and no deplatforming. Because
and half the time you reply to people like that, you don't reply to them for their sake. You reply for the documentation of anybody who's going to come across that comment, who knows when, to see that, hey, look, there is an alternate voice.
By me deleting it, all of that crap disappeared.
Well,
but remains unresolved.
They're going to pop up again.
Yeah, they are a cancer.
Don't worry, you will have more opportunities. But I mean, there's also a point where you do kind of got to pick your battles. Some things is like, some things absolutely worth putting your foot down, and other things is like, is this really worth getting into a flame war over something dumb? So you got to kind of prioritize, and
it's all about picking.
I suck at that part.
Yeah, it's like the good captain just said in his comment is that we don't seek censorship or deplatforming. That's their shtick. That's what they thrive upon.
It almost seems like they're invigorated by it.
Oh,
we got to destroy somebody else.
because they're deranged authoritarians. This is their only the only thing that they live for. This is what like with the risk of sounding scary. This is what makes them. This is what makes them thick.
I'm more concerned that they're coming over, and it's kind of like, when Big Bang Theory came out, how everybody became nerds.
Yeah, sure.
Those guys are jumping ship because they have no authority or ability to harm people. So now they're coming over here to start up a whole new war.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of felt like reading that.
Well, is that what that is, or is that just some guy who's got a bug up his ass today, and for all we know, typically doesn't respond like that?
I thought that too, but then I ended up with 8 more comments.
Yeah.
And all I simply said was, "Hey, I'm surprised you haven't been approached by a professional. This is good."
We just
that wasn't even the person you were complimenting, right? That was just somebody else, or
no? I was complimenting Part-Time Explorer's video, which is really good. If you guys like anything history, check him out. I mean, he does.
Look. I'm just gonna say, there's a lot of people out there to get a power trip from having a social media account, and they like being the expert of everything, and it's the actually club.
Yeah, it's always a flame
It knows
war.
no bounds. Every community has the actually crowd because
They're going to choose exactly how they get offended and tell you why you're a piece of shit for speaking slightly differently to how they do. That's how they go about it.
Yes, and they will tell you that it is only they who are the correct, the right ones. It's only what they tell you to do is the right way.
Like I said, I'm not offended. I'm more worried that how quickly that, just because the video was released this morning, how quickly all of a sudden those those comments showed up, which
it's the internet more like hypertensive and always trigger happy. It's the truth.
The actually crowd has a king. King Bob says, "Someone had the audacity to take my job as the actually guy. Disgusting."
Yeah, but I pay you to be
the title that you must defend, sir. That is the title that you must fight for. Otherwise, they will take it from you and your head.
No, I'm just, like I said, I'm more concerned that our culture is shifting in that direction.
There's a lot of evidence that the culture is starting to shift back away from all that, though. That's why manga's blowing up and comics are falling down, because people are sick of it.
Yeah, comics have been on a downward trend for decades. At least American comics have. A lot of that comes down to how the business is actually run, but writing is also a major part of it.
Captain Garrett says, "As a man with a social media account, I can confirm that I am an expert on basically everything."
So am I.
Yes, you are,
the power of the pewter.
Garrett, if you choose to, you should come hang out with us.
I know everything. All there is to know about everything.
You guys are noobs. I know everything
forever
about the dark side.
Well, until 10 o'clock.
I know everything about the dark side and the darkness of the internet, and you fools don't. That makes
I don't want to
powerful.
know.
I'm an otter who throws rocks at people I don't like.
How about the lightness of the internet?
No. If you do not know,
that's why we have to wear blue blockers.
If you do not know the darkness of the internet, you will be blind to the darkness that will attack you. That is why you must study it.
I've seen enough darkness.
You're overhyping dark mode.
Enough to last me a lifetime.
Yeah.
Wait, if we're gonna talk about darkness, let's just hard cut. And the Lord Otter Friday hosted a wonderful stream that went on for 3 hours, and it was awesome. I was there.
Yeah, I was there as well. We were talking about this family-friendly, wholesome, life-affirming manga called Berserk. Isn't that right?
We were all equally scarred.
Family of what?
Family.
You want to know the answer to that question? Because I certainly don't.
I do. Do you want me to tell them?
No.
Okay, so Berserk, Black Knight. I don't know if you know what Berserk is. But Berserk
I
is this...
know.
Okay, perfect. You know. Berserk.
Sorry.
Berserk is
Man,
this
I'm really Canadian tonight.
Beautiful story about a very angry man who kills demons. But
he is most certainly not Canadian.
But he first sleeps with one, then proceeds to blow her head off. In the first page.
This does happen, for the record.
Yeah, I've heard it gets pretty intense and gritty. And I was watching the stream with you guys talking about it, but I've never gotten into that property. So
don't watch the 3D animated show. It's
disgusting.
There's a place called an incinerator where everything non-1997 Berserk animation can go.
Reading the manga is the best experience by far, but the 97 anime is also a good alternative.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, if you want to talk something a little dark, you guys are familiar with Dark Mirror, right?
I know Black Mirror.
I'm afraid not.
Vaguely heard it.
All right, I think the series is on Netflix, and it's kind of Twilight Zone-ish. It's an anthology series. One story typically has nothing to do with another. But,
another one.
Yeah. Well, there was one particular one that I saw a few years back, and this is it right here, called Black Mirror USS Callister Limited Series and Works at Netflix. This episode,
like a bad knockoff of Star Trek.
There's a reason why. This episode is one of those that can really freak you out. Because the deal here is it starts off looking like a Star Trek knockoff. And then this guy right here in the middle, that I was inebriated at the time and I thought it was Matt Damon when I saw it. But this guy, the captain, steps out of the game. He's actually a program designer, works for a big high-powered company, and he made this VR online MMO. And this is his own personal mod that he runs. Problem is, hang on just a second. Okay.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. Welcome aboard, Captain.
Garrett.
Yes.
Permission
to come aboard, sir.
Hail, Garrett.
Granted.
Granted. Now go to the airlock. You broke
what?
Black Knight's mad at me. He's big mad at me.
Why? I'm not mad at you.
No, I'm just kidding. I just finished Balin. I was thinking, it's kind of like a modern Beowulf. Yeah, I love the song at the end. That was pretty rad, man.
Yeah, you have a character named Rea the Lore Singer. You'll see more of this. There should be at least one song in each of the books. The one which is in the second in the second book, oh boy, it's insane, and it actually deals with the child soldiers you talked about in yesterday.
Awesome.
Garrett, you talk too much, my man, and I love you for it.
Oh, you have no idea, sir.
Oh, that you must have been exhausted after yesterday. You and Readout kind of Readout as well. Both did some stream marathons.
Well, the difference was mine was protracted over a week, but it was different sessions where he just decided to just have a stream marathon in one day.
Oh shoot!
It was great.
Garrett, you had the prime opportunity of your life to talk about Evangelion with Readout, and you missed it, man.
Well, there's still time. It's not too late, Stormcrow.
Well, okay. You gotta have me on along with him so we can talk about Evangelion. Readout is too much of a wuss not to talk about the deep deep lore of Evangelion.
No, he just
I'm
doesn't
not
want to
even
get
sure.
banned.
I'm not well versed on it enough for that. Now, if you want to talk Berserk, we can get into that. But I'm not.
Oh, okay. So if you can handle Berserk, you can handle Evangelion. It's way more family friendly.
There's a difference between enjoying something and calling something an experience. And I call the end of Evangelion an experience. An experience I like talking about because it's such a weird experience and it makes for good bar talk.
I just got to be honest with you.
5 minutes of End of Evangelion are very wholesome.
Bad.
You should watch it with your family too.
It's the opening in Berserk, but for teenagers.
I need closure on stories, okay? That's what bugs me about Evangelion.
You'll never get it.
It's just me, man. I have to have closure. It's
is it an open-ended, trippy kind of wrap-up?
It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense.
You have the televised ending where they lost all of their budget, so it's all abstract art and nobody knows what's happening. Then you have the cinematic ending in 1997, which is just weird imagery with more color. and it goes on for like 2 hours. And then you have the rebuild films, which took over like a decade and a half to complete, and it's not even connected to the original series. It's its own, like, it's taking the same characters and doing its own thing with it. So you can't treat it as a continuation of the original series. It will never end. And they don't like franchises ending because people fear finality, which is why you can read my wonderful article on Substack about the fear of finality, much like how they will not end Doctor Who properly. Anyways.
Well, I gotta get your Substack and the links in the description.
Yeah.
I went on a ride there, okay?
No, I
rode that
don't
snake.
think people mind finality when it's done well. I think it's a good thing if you miss something great, like I just remember one of my favorite shows of all time was Breaking Bad, and I just remember when it was airing, just the energy building up to the finale was incredible. Everyone was talking about it. It's like, because it wasn't a well-known show in the first couple seasons, because it sort of gained this cultural phenomenon, and then it had such a great ending, but then it was over. And it's kind of bittersweet. I like that because I could always look back on it and be like, that was cool. That was a cool thing. And I kind of feel that way about Battlestar Galactica. I feel that way about Deep
That's
Space
how
Nine.
People would have felt that way about the MCU if it stopped at Endgame.
Yeah, there was no way that the MCU was going to stop before it went off the rails. Impossible. But that's how I initially felt about the Dragon Ball Z series until that went off the rails for me. I was like, hey, I'm going to watch the new Dragon Ball Z when it's done. And then I just take in a glimpse every now and then what's going on, and it's just too ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, this is just too much.
But then there are some cut short too soon, like Firefly, which I will eternally.
Yeah, the Fire was just about
My
to
Beloved
say.
Enterprise.
Remember what they did to our Firefly.
The power of a good ending is with a good ending, it will make you look back on everything that you just watched or experienced, and usually it'll kind of like highlight all the fond memories there. Even the shortcomings, you can sort of like either recognize it for what it is or even gloss over it just for how good the experience was. A bad ending is the exact opposite of that. If it's
You
so
don't
bad,
want
it can make you question why you even followed in the first place.
Game of Thrones season 8. Thank you,
I wish
George,
they had
for
yeah.
the books.
I wish
What,
they
you
hadn't
don't wanna
stopped Game
end
of
up-
Thrones at season 4.
Never mind.
I felt that the ending of season 6 of Game of Thrones, I literally had this feeling. That's when I think that's the one that ends with Dany on the ship and she's got her dragons. She's finally going to Westeros. And that was, I thought, the peak. And I was like, you know what? End it there. I'm happy. I literally would have been happy because I think at that point Arya had taken revenge on Walder Frey, if I remember. And I was like, I'm good with that. I can live with that. But I just had a feeling that if it continued, it was going to suck.
Yeah, you got the special boys stretching licorice and even doing worse stuff, and they messed it up. They messed it all up.
Can't be as bad as the new Pirates of the Caribbean without Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh, yeah, I saw. I think it was Josiah Rising. The thumbnail on his is like the picture of the lady who's going to be the new lead. And I don't mean to insult. I know nothing about her. She might be great at what she does. But my first thought was, this looks like the video game character after the politically correct people are done reforming the character so she doesn't look too pretty on screen.
All right. Do you want a fresh reaction? You want to see me get destroyed? Take Jesse Plemons off the screen just for a moment, because I do want to see where Jesse Plemons' character was going, and put up whatever this new Pirates movie is supposed to be.
I can't believe they're making.
You want to watch?
I don't think there's a. I don't think there's actually.
No, they just announced the star.
Yeah.
Oh, who's the star? I don't
know.
know.
There is a meme.
Hang on.
There is a meme.
I'm gonna bring it up.
Find the meme.
Find the meme.
But
Yeah, there is
I'm
a meme
sorry,
with her with
sold Pirates
pirate
of the
cat.
Caribbean.
I hate myself.
I mean, to be fair, Pirates hasn't
I'm
been
not
good for a
saying
while.
she's ugly, but she doesn't have the movie star face either.
And get it. I heard things that they're going to change the ships.
Dude, she looks like a fucking thin black dwarf bitch from Rings of Power. That bitch lost some weight.
Grandma says she's beautiful, all right? So,
Just listen, it's like.
Did Crow kill the stream for a moment?
I think so.
It's the same
wait, Brown.
It's just such a put a chick in it situation here.
It really is. In fact, yeah, I'm going for it right now. Here we go.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
And super
And
fucking
lame.
lame.
All right.
God damn it,
What do you think the odds are that she's going to be bi, at least?
She's
Or she's going to be into
100%.
chicks in some way?
No, this is the lesbian. You're giving her way too much
would be
credit.
exceptional, then I would understand it. Because remember back in the 80s and 70s when they picked people because they could actually act, not just because they looked really good, like in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
Wrangler, you are giving these guys way too much credit. She's going to be a beer-slinging, snatch-smelling lesbian bitch. Straight up.
Jesus.
Crow.
Start Crew, you're gonna get us all down.
Have you been opening up a thesaurus of crude to say,
No,
how
it's
can I
the
step
urban,
up
it's
my
the urban
game?
thesaurus.
I am too angry. I'm too angry. Listen to me very carefully.
Every time I do, I regret it.
I am a Pirates boy. I saw the original trilogy when the movies came out. Big fan. I had posters and the video games, everything when I was a kid about these movies. Okay, I'm fucking pissed. I'm fucking pissed. Okay,
Am I the
I'm
only
not.
one who thinks they never got better than after the first one?
I'm
like
right
the
there with
second and
you.
third
Yeah,
one.
same.
I'm
second and third ones are okay,
I'm
but
okay with
none
the
of them reach
trilogy,
the same
but-
height.
Yeah,
Oh
that
no, the
first one had
original's a
special
masterpiece.
amount of magic.
The second one is okay. The third one, I can barely remember it. The only part I liked was the Dutch East India guys and that ship battle, but also I can do without the giant god.
It gave us an awesome meme template.
But here's a thought I have about this, right? Is just putting aside, literally, it's so bad. It's every single thing now. It's literally, let's go find, a bisexual woman of color and literally make her the lead character in every single possible
fucking movie.
No,
I want to do that, but not with a movie.
I'm waiting for when they do the history of the Middle East, and they're gonna gender and race swap Muhammad.
I thought about that. This is how it's going to happen.
I think Persian is still a protected class right now.
You see, they're going to get so woke and want to.
I'm going to do you guys one better. I'm going to do you guys all one better.
Please don't get us banned.
Journey of the West. Journey to the West. Chinese classic, right? Journey to the West. But Sun Wukong is played by an African.
Of course.
Well, yeah. I think you can do that if you're Netflix.
Check it out. This is what they're going to do. Watch. They're going to get so woke and ignore so much of the anti-woke stuff from the Middle East that they're just going to take the Middle East off the map, and it's going to turn into a place of fiction.
The woke will not be happy till everybody's just a bunch of copy and paste drones around the world.
Oh my God. Okay, better idea. Forget Journey to the West. Better idea. Take all of the African mythology, right? They have a bunch of stuff, really cool stuff. I want to see books about it. This is what they're going to do. Turn all the African gods, Anansi, all those guys, make them white and Chinese for the sake of diversity.
Make them Swedish, specifically.
We don't like it when they do it with the existing characters we know about, so there's no reason to go start doing it with other characters and mythologies and cultural icons.
You know when Marvel had a missed opportunity? Was there's a Marvel villain of Black Panther known as White Ape, and I just thought that seemed like a really obvious choice. Oh yeah, it's a real villain. Look it up.
It is. Yeah, it's a real villain.
Yeah, he's black, but I'm like with all the stuff that they're doing, they could have made him white. I'm like, I feel if you're gonna be that bad about it, you might as well like take advantage of one that's like right out there. I mean,
and make sure he's a redhead.
Well, I just think in Pirates there's such an opportunity for Caribbean culture. If you really want to have characters of color, it's like you literally have the culture of voodoo. You have Saint Domingue, which is today Haiti. You have massive opportunities to have super interesting lore and characters, and they did some of that in the original Pirates trilogy.
Yeah, but I have trouble finding that.
They can't accept that in order to have a successful leading character, that leading character has to earn it. And the fact of the matter is, Johnny Depp was not, I believe, he was not supposed to be the star of Pirates. He was supposed to be a supporting character to Orlando Bloom. Orlando Bloom was boring as hell, and Johnny was brilliant in that movie, and it totally changed it. Now, the Wokies, if Orlando Bloom were their POC woman who, is gay, they couldn't accept that. They would have gotten rid of him and said, no, she's our star. It's like, but in a merit system, the filmmakers in the second and third film realized the people came for Johnny Depp. They came for Sparrow because he's a great character. He's funny. He's interesting. He's complex. He's unpredictable. They love that. He's delightful. So they shifted the focus of the story to him because he earned that. And that's
who was the star of Aladdin?
The genie. Really. Yeah, because the thing is, if they would simply have the humility to take an interesting, take a black woman who is like a Jamaican voodoo priestess, just as an example, and they think she's a really cool character. Okay, great. Scale her character properly. Is she really the star? Really? Not likely. That's not probably going to be the star in a pirate fantasy story, but you could make her a supporting character, and if she turns out to be everybody's fan favorite, then you can elevate her. But they don't have the humility for that because they're not actually creatives.
For that.
They're propagandists.
It's not about listening to what the audience wants. It's about telling you what you want.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, it's like I said earlier. Actually, go ahead.
I mean, it's a lesson from the old propaganda books. They have to make everything about their activism. That's back in the day when they made even the semi-watchable TV shows that they made. They were chock full of the message, which let's face it,
the message.
They kind of reworded it, but it's still the same. Like they're still shoving neo-Marxism in your throat and expect you to after 2030 or 2040, whatever their global agenda is, like, you will eat the bugs, you will own nothing, and you will like it. Yeah.
No, Mr. Black Knight.
It's like I mentioned. It's like I mentioned, I think it was before the stream started, but Seth MacFarlane is quite often in ideological alignment with a lot of the woke guys.
Yeah, but he is not.
But he still tells a good story because he's a storyteller first and an activist second.
But if he gets his way, that he'll be the last of his kind, because he will never go against these people either, because he's a wacko leftist,
No,
just
he
like
won't.
they are. And
Yes,
that's
he
why,
is.
you know, you get Bill Maher and people like that saying, "What happened?" It's like, what happened is you guys never spoke up when this crap was happening. Like, you never, because you cared more about defeating your perceived enemies than actually holding to your ideals. You know, and that's so he will be the last of his kind, Seth MacFarlane will, and it'll be his own doing.
And I love the Orville. The Orville has more of the Star Trek spirit than current Trek that they're pumping out. I see the Orville as a true spiritual successor. I hope to see Star Trek right the ship and get back to what they were, but if not,
what did you say?
I do have to say thank you, Seth MacFarlane, for making the Orville, because it took a few shows to find the footing, but when they found their footing, they're awesome. I love that show.
All right, guys. I got to get out of here. Just saying bye. My son came to me and said, "Dad, will you play Mario with me?" I'm like, I can't say no. All right.
Yeah, you can't say no to that one.
Bye, Kahuta.
You're Mario now.
Eventually, he'll
Don't
want
eat
to
too
play,
many mushrooms.
single player games just like his dad. Anyway,
Kahuna,
God bless you guys. Have a good one.
Kahuna, listen to me very carefully.
Okay, real quick.
We will talk tomorrow. I got some plans with you for Saturday. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good, brother.
Love you too. Goodbye.
Good night, my son.
God bless Kahuna.
He is amazing, Garrett. He is.
You know what's one great thing is that I'm a super big fan of Stargate, and Homeboy's picture right there you pulled on the screen reminded me of that. And I'm so glad that Stargate was kind of the underrated, less popular one somehow, even though it had like 10 seasons of a show and 2 spin-offs.
Well, that's
the Wokesters never got to it.
Watching it.
The Wokesters
You have to be a little on the quiet side.
Oh, they will. They've got their eyes on Stargate.
Garrett, shut the hell up! Don't say anything about Battlestar Galactica. It doesn't exist. Okay.
You know what?
I know nothing about Battlestar though. I never saw that.
Battlestar Galactica is over, and they can make a new one, and it won't bother me because that, you know, the reimagined series is a complete series. It's done, and it didn't
Battlestar what?
Can we just take our hats off to like the early aughts and how much awesome sci-fi television was just on every week? We had like Doctor Who, Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, Firefly, which eventually got its own movie.
Farscape.
We nerds were running things back then.
We were, dude. We had everything. And then you had the actors who'd be on everything too.
Yeah. Ben Browder and Claudia Black.
Yes. Claudia Black.
I'm very sad to say that I didn't get to see most of those shows growing up. I was too poor, so I got to start watching Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon because that was the only thing I could afford. But hey, it wasn't all too bad. I got to grow up with Adult Swim and
see, you sold yourself out there. Poor kids only watch Fox Kids. So sorry there, guy.
I didn't even know what Fox was until I was like fucking 14.
Speaking of watching, what is this?
Okay, so an episode of Black Mirror. It starts off with this crew, and it looks very much like a Star Trek riff, which it is. But then this guy here, the captain, steps out of this world, and he is a programmer for a very successful software company. And this is a MMO online game, very lifelike, sci-fi-ish, the tech he's got. And what he's in here is his own personal mod of the game. Now, the problem is this crew, they are not NPCs. All right. And they are all very afraid of him. It turns out each one of these crew members they called it a digital clone of somebody he works with. Anybody who he's very much bullied around, pushed around, he gets no respect at the workplace. but he was able to get their DNA and did some kind of digital cloning where all these people wake up in the world with all the memories of the actual person. They're sentient. They feel, they think, and he pretty much steps into cyberspace in that game. And because he's the programmer, he's like God in there. He goes in and can wave his hand, do reality warping things. As an example, whoops.
You can do that.
This lady here was his most recent acquisition. And when he was saying, yeah, you're going to do what I tell you to do or else, she gave him a little spitfire. So he waved his hand and her mouth and nostrils disappeared. She collapsed onto the floor and started just convulsing and thrashing about because she couldn't breathe. And he said, remember, I literally am God in this world. You will sit there and you will writhe, unable to breathe, but you cannot die because the program won't let you. You won't even pass out. So do as I say, or you will writhe right there on the floor for eternity. And then he waves his hand and her mouth comes back. And this is what all these people are dealing with. And it gets freaky. Stormcrow, I think you would like this. It's a bit of a mind screw.
You know, I've seen the episode. It's pretty good.
There's a saying for this.
There is one episode in Black Mirror that's my absolute favorite. And I don't know if you guys seen it, but it has to deal with a certain teenager, maybe 18 years old, who gets stalked by someone that found out his name on the internet and basically forces him to do crimes all around the city along with other people that this guy found on the internet. Now, for the entire episode, we're thinking, why is this guy torturing this poor kid? Like,
I know what episode you're talking about. I've seen this one.
Okay, Otter gets it. For the entire episode, we're thinking, why is this guy just torturing this poor kid? He just watched, the not safe for work stuff. We all done that at one point. But at the end of the episode, I don't want to spoil it. We find out why he's so afraid of that information leaking out. And it just, it switched my brain. I'm like, oh, no, you deserve this. You deserve everything to happen to you. Otter gets it.
No, my takeaway was kind of the exact opposite. The story makes you sympathize with him at the very end.
Nope.
Up until that point, the story is portrayed in a certain way for you to sympathize with him until the end reveal, which my takeaway was the exact opposite of yours, Stormcrow. It's the episode that actually turned me away from Black Mirror.
I understand why it would do that to you, but with the twist.
What's the episode called? Maybe we can all watch it and get back together next week and give our opinions.
I don't remember what it was, but it's in the early episodes of Black Mirror. You can find it on Netflix. It's maybe episode 3, 4. I don't exactly remember. But
hail, Brian McCoppin.
Hail, sir.
Demon beavers!
He has brought the demon beavers. They're going to run rampant through the chat. Be careful, do not get bit.
I shall feast on their eyes as the Stormcrow demands blood. Thank you very much.
Captain Garrett, you said you've seen this show?
I've seen this episode. I think the most terrifying episode of this show is Metalhead, which is the black and white episode with the robot dogs. Oh, that was horrifying.
Oh.
Well, this episode with the Callister was the only episode I saw, and I was like, it gave me some concepts that were just horrifying to consider, and I'm sure all the other episodes probably do kind of the same thing. However, Netflix is bringing out a limited series for this. For those who saw the show, I'm not going to give spoilers how things go down, but pretty much the ship is no longer in that mod. It goes out into the actual cyberspace. It goes into the internet. And I think it's going to follow them as they explore cyberspace.
That is going to be woke as hell.
Yep.
It probably will.
Look,
I hope this was a good episode. I hope they don't just
it
spoil
is.
that.
It is, but there's this was back when things weren't quite as crazy as they are now. When this episode came out, it was kind of just getting there, and there's definitely some mild. There's typical typical kind of woke things in this episode, but it doesn't bother me because this episode is actually really well written. But these days, it'll be a complete rag. The next
Garrett, I'm so happy you said woke because there is something I want to bring up with all of you, and I forgot. Okay, have you guys been keeping in touch with the last Airbender adaptation they're making?
No. Thank you.
No.
Thank you very much.
I
No.
have. Oh, I have. Gentlemen, I am very happy to announce that they're going to update it for, drumroll please, modern audiences.
Remodern audiences.
Aren't you all excited?
And with that, I'm bailing out. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night, Maji.
Back to the real world. Have fun with Kennedy. Marble some more.
Listen.
Andrew Campbell is asking what
Real
season
quick,
and
real quick.
episode that was, and does anybody happen? Is that the first season?
I want to think it's like season 3 or something.
It's the only episode I ever saw. It just happened to be on the TV. You know, I was visiting some folks. They put it on the TV. That's the episode they watched.
Oh, guys, I found out the episode. Write it down. It's called Black Mirror, Shut Up and Dance. Okay.
You're talking about the other episode you were just talking about, not the Callister one, right?
I could
Yeah.
recommend a couple of episodes in the show.
Callister season 4, episode 1. I just checked.
The recent season had a really good episode with Josh Hartnett in it, and the guy who played Jesse in Breaking Bad. Why am I forgetting his name? Aaron.
Interesting.
Aaron Paul, and they're astronauts orbiting the planet. They're astronauts on a deep space mission, but they have robot bodies that they can remotely go back to on Earth while they're asleep on the ship, and it is an absolute mind trip. But it's a pretty damn good episode. But the thing about Black Mirror is it is dark. This is a dark show, and I would say about 1 out of every 3 episodes I think are really good. Something like 1 out of 3 are okay, and about 1 out of 3 are,
Yeah,
that's
it's
kinda-
basically
I agree
like,
with that.
It's premium. It's like premium Twilight Zone.
You know, the thing about it is, though, I never felt that Twilight Zone was a nihilistic series.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I felt like Twilight Zone was like cautionary tales, possibilities, but Black Mirror is kind of a show about humanity is doomed. We are doomed.
Yeah.
Like, we are awful. We are literally laying the groundwork for our own torturous, miserable end, and we are laying it with a smile on our
Yes.
face. That's what this show is about.
Yes, we
That
are.
is why I don't watch it very
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's pretty well me
Yes,
too.
we are.
I prefer Twilight. I prefer the Twilight Zone mostly because it takes the speculative approach, which is something that it leaves a lot more room open for interpretation, and it's what I prefer.
It like the old Trek was like that. You always had like these scenarios where in certain episodes, not all episodes, but in certain episodes, you had these scenarios with these often these like interesting philosophical questions that you were presented with as an audience, and you were shown different viewpoints from either the aliens or the modern humans, the Federation. That was quite interesting, but they can't make them anymore. It's like it requires actual imagination.
Well, it
Black
requires
Mirror is-
looking at a problem from multiple angles.
Yes, but Black Mirror is mostly pretty well written. I'd say it kind of depends on the episode and the writers. The episode I was talking about with the astronauts is called Beyond the Sea. It's in season 6, episode 3. But I would say the one praiseworthy thing about the show is it really spends a lot of time critiquing the destructiveness of like internet and social media culture. The title, of course, refers to the Black Mirror we all carry around in our pockets, you know? So that, I think, is kind of a great element of the show. But,
oh my god. Garrett, you just reminded me of my second favorite episode. It's the one in Parliament concerning the kidnapped princess. I'm not going to spoil it, but it ends with a pig.
I guess I've only seen about half the episodes because I don't remember that one.
I only seen like a quarter at best.
By the way, if you can watch that new series, Masters of Air.
Yes, I'm gonna be watching that.
It looks
really
good.
good. It's really
I hope
good.
it's good.
Is it good? I mean, what's Masters of Air?
A World War II bomber based television
It's
series.
kind of a band of brothers of you know bombers in World War II, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, but it's like the actors act really well. It's and me as an amateurish historian and someone who likes to see World War II and World War One machines on the big screen. It's a feast for the eye, and they actually wear proper bomber gear. And in one of the episodes, when a guy like removed his gloves and actually touched a machine gun, he kind of like he received frost burns because they were so high in the air and everything is pretty much super cold.
That's why they wore jackets.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it was so good. So good.
I
And they
saw-
show it as it is, like the equipment fails, the guns jam, everything. Like if it can fail, it fucking will.
They had
And
gremlins.
yeah.
Hey, Black Knight, just to know, is there like an Eastern European version of Band of Brothers? I think that would be sweet.
There are plenty of old Soviet war movies.
But are they actually truthful or are they bullshit?
Mostly
bullshit, right?
Mostly bullshit. But there are a couple of them which, like from the newer ones, like made
Blizzard
in the
of Souls is
2000s,
pretty good.
and then like the late 2000s, there are some pretty good ones. I can find you I think 2 or 3 which are quite like they're historically accurate. They're not pulling like the glorious party commissar bullshit who is single-handedly mowing down tens of thousands of Germans with his pistol.
I've seen one not too long ago, a couple of years, called Blizzard of Souls, which is basically about World War I Russian perspective, following a single soldier and men from his village that were chased out because of the war and then signed up to fight the war. It kind of follows the war from his perspective. It's pretty good. Blizzard of Souls. Check it out.
I would very much
there
like
is a,
that list. Like
there's a documentary series called The Great Patriotic War, which is Russian made, and I think I saw it on Amazon Prime or something a while back, and it was a really good. It was just the chronicle of the whole Eastern Front war, and based on kind of what I knew from other things I researched, it seemed pretty accurate.
I mean, it's okay, it's fine. It's fine for the Western audiences, but for us, especially some of us who actually knew, like old people who served, really old people. I mean, yeah, we know that most of the wartime data that these like documentary movie makers are using, especially in the West, and I'm talking about the Soviet data. It's a lot of it. It's not quite what it has to be.
I have to jump in to mention, and now I know this isn't like Eastern Europe. We're dealing with more the German perspective. If you've not watched the uncut version of Das Boot, do it. It is the
yes,
best
I watched it.
depiction of submarine warfare, period. And it is somehow also probably one of the better. It could almost be labeled a horror film. I want to go that far, but it got some horrifying moments when they're trapped in that sub at the bottom of the Strait of Gibraltar. So if you've not seen it, it's a movie, but it was also made into a miniseries, so you can watch it.
The Submariners were probably one of the most courageous people ever.
You want to talk about horror?
Have a great night, King Bob.
Oh, other fun little tidbit. The U-boat that you see Indiana Jones ride onto in Raiders of the Lost Ark, that's the same prop they use in Das Boot.
Nice.
I'm having a computer issue. I have to restart, so you're going to see me drop off for just a moment.
No, the movie that the movie I mentioned, Blizzard of Souls, that is a Russian production. In case anybody's wondering, that's not a U.S. production.
I'm also going to have to head out for tonight.
Oh,
me
he must return to his home next to the river.
Back downstream along the river.
We shall see you Saturday, my lord.
Indeed.
Be ready.
All right. Have a great night, everyone.
May the singularity protect you, my friend.
Good night.
God bless, my friends.
Good night.
Find that movie.
Have a good night.
Black Knight. You want to talk about horror in a war movie? Have you heard of the movie called Come and See?
I don't want to I don't like to talk about this movie. This is it.
I have only seen it once. And I want to see
there are some issues with this movie. I mean, it's not that it's not true. It's real that stuff like this happened, but I mean, how should I put it? I think they portrayed most of this truthfully, but they kind of overdid it in some
you
other
have to
areas.
understand when it was made. It was made still in the Soviet era, so the only type of World War II film that's going to be allowed to be produced in the Soviet Union was a shock film, a film that
Yes, I was about to say that. That's one of the other things that Soviet war movies, which are made, especially, well, there are some which were made in the 60s, but they are not very good. You have in the 70s and in the 80s. This is like the golden era of Soviet war movies. It's, I mean, you have like it's an entire specific basket full of tropes, which are found mostly, if not only, in their classic war movies about the Second World War. And one of them is the Politruk, or the party commissar, who is basically flipping tanks with his pinky finger.
Oh, hail the commissar!
Yeah, pretty much. But I will find this movie for you, and I will post the link.
Well, it's the power of his propaganda that's allowing him.
It's the power of communism, like pure
he's the mage.
communism.
He's the communist mage. In the
Yeah, he's the red mage. Yeah.
I can say this though. This is me talking. I've only seen that movie once, and I never.
Don't worry, you're not guilty.
It's too much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, by the way,
yeah. What's up?
I was just wondering what your avatar was there.
Oh, this is actually a soldier from the Vanguard Legion, particularly First Company, the Thunderclad Division, Vanguard Legion. They are the Thunderstrike Battalion, 500 men strong standard infantry, sir.
From Fort Bragg, John Rambo Division.
There you go.
Do they have AC/DC in World Without End so they can come marching into Thunderstruck?
Well, they definitely got metal.
That works.
Actually, it's funny you mention that because quick chill. In World Without End, a particular nation has a epiphany for music to the point where they've created these strange instruments that we would be known, we would call electric guitars, and their particular form of music that they like listening to is actually metal, and a lot of their bards play these strange electric guitars. But because most of their bards are super enhanced with, for the sake of keeping it, without extending this to this great lore breakdown, let's just call it magic, if you will, even though in the world that doesn't exist. That's how they fuel their guitars, and they can summon the various elements with their lovely electric guitars. Put it that way.
Do they have a flamethrower guitar?
Yes, of course. Did a
Whitlonian and a Dune get together and make a family to make that happen? Or
that's actually the not the Whitlonians, the Daughter Knights. They're the ones that have the. They actually bring an entire choir to battle with them.
Okay, I knew the daughters had magic about them, but I didn't know they could do that. I thought it was like much more specialized than the Dune.
It is very specialized. There's already a short story written about it. I have yet to. I think I actually did release it, but it was a while ago. I need to retouch it up on it. That introduces these particular types of characters and bards into the world.
All right, I need to leave because I am about to fall asleep.
All right. Well, Crow, you have a good night.
You can always sleep on stream.
No, that's rude. I don't like doing that to you guys. Anyway,
I don't think anybody does that.
Everyone.
Good night, Stormcrow.
Good night, Stormcrow.
It was an honor, and Wrangler, be ready for Saturday. You know what's happening on Saturday.
Sounds
yes, I do. Dark Augment.
Hell yeah! All of you need to watch. It's a lot of fun.
Is there champagne and candlelight involved?
Oh yeah. I'm a very fine connoisseur of the sensual arts, as Wrangler can attest. Isn't that right?
Does apple cider count? Technically, that's a wine.
I am well skilled in the sensual arts. Arts of sensual massage.
All right, Crow. Thanks for coming in, and you get some rest. Yeah. You be ready for Saturday.
Absolutely. Stay safe, all of you.
You too. Good night.
Yeah. I hope this week we will play some more Star Shattered on the 10th, because we skipped 2 weeks already.
You guys are doing an RPG?
Yes.
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 The Dark Augment is on Otter's channel, and the Star Shatter RPG is on A Drink with Crazy. DM'd by Black Knight himself.
Yeah, I've been running this for like 15 plus years.
You've been running this particular campaign for about a year now, right?
Yeah, because
on and off.
Because they're busy. But
trying to get everybody's schedule in sync is a challenge.
100 plus campaigns, at least. Some shorter, others longer, with all the tech and the entire setting, everything. And mind you, Garrett, you've read like this specific small part from Valen's perspective. It's just like it encompasses a really small piece of the universe. It's much bigger. It's much bigger.
That's how I'm saying. I should have started with Star Shatter 1.
Yeah,
Eh.
because the Rightful Song happens entirely on Averna, right?
Yeah. And the second book is also on Averna. It tackles with the promise that Valen gave the child soldiers that he would help them reclaim their lost home shelter, their lost bunker, which it happens in the second book, where you kind of see pretty much everything which was set up in the first book unravel and develop, including probably one of the sneakiest Tazaran baddies, who is probably not as sneaky as Umasa, but quite sneaky. I think Garrett, you will love him.
Nice.
He's
I like Raya a lot.
Oh yeah. Rhea and Sam.
Rhea, that's how you pronounce her name, Rhea.
Rhea, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, I don't know. There were people who assumed that Omasa is actually Osama for some reason.
Oh, that's a weird.
He doesn't give me he doesn't give me Osama vibes at all. You want to know what kind of vibes he gives me? He gives me Prince Lotor vibes.
Yeah.
Lotor.
Lord Omasa and Prince Lotor meet in a tavern. What happens after?
I would figure either they try and eliminate each other or they end up planning together, one extreme or the other.
The second.
I figured they just play chess.
Well, yes. While they drink alien wine, they will most probably play some board game because
they'll play Domjot.
Or cards or something. I don't know.
Or they'll be like my friend's family. They'll play Monopoly until someone starts losing, and then they'll flip the table and start fist fighting instead.
You should never. Play Monopoly
as hilarious as that would be, it's probably very out of character for the both of them.
Yeah,
that's why I'd love to see it.
And to think of it like at the Zaran, in most cases, at the Zaran always has something ready, like something behind his back, a weapon, ready to stab you if you assume that you will stab him first.
Hey, Black Knight, do you have any books that are, a little less violent, like a nice young adult, Twilight kind of romp?
Can I ask what this Jesus Christ Superstar thing is we're looking at?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
I'm working on a children's book set in the same universe, which is told
Seriously?
from the yes.
Oh yeah, it is.
The cover
part of it was good.
Yeah. He
this isn't the cover. That's from James World Without End. That's the Qatar guy he was just talking about a few moments ago. He's channeling his energy and with his music.
I was going to say, there's a children's book.
Superstar.
He's kind of like Nails from the Dark Augment.
The children's book is told from the perspective of a boy with a scooter and his pet sugar glider named Papaya.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it a bad motor scooter?
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
Does he
It's
murder
okay.
slavers by the dozens? Because I feel like that.
No, he
Yeah, he grabs the sugar glider, loads it up with grenades, and just launches it.
No. He's transporting a box full of cheese for his uncle, who is a biker. That's his summer, a part of his summer job on Mars, where his family is lives, and it's not like it's totally bait for children. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
I have a question for you, actually. So, is your idea of your different species in your universe, are they meant to be like all descendants of humans that have had a sort of a diaspora and they've settled planets and they've become different species,
no.
or are they really different species?
They are different species, and the story of the humans is quite mysterious, because this part of space where Earth is situated, it's let's say the pirate clans, they say, oh no, this is our sacred, our holy space. What the fuck are you doing here, you filthy barbarians? Like, for most of the aliens, we the humans, we are barbarians, and the fact that we have uplifted the bunnies and the hamsters and the gorillas, that makes us even worse, because we have not followed the established galactic law, which says that any civilization that uplifts and creates another sentient race, that sentient race has to be practically serfs for a few thousand years before even being like considered as having some autonomy.
Sentience.
No, they're still sentient, but you're using them. You made them for one specific purpose, like what most galactic civilizations do. We need expert sewage workers, so they find some innocent presentient animal, and they twist it and they morphed it to serve their purpose, and they shove it in the sewers, and like, this is where you're going to live forever and ever, and this is what you're going to do forever and ever. This is why you exist. Fuck you, clean the sewers.
That brings up one of my only criticisms, and that is, in the real world, the first race that would be uplifted is cat girls, and we all know it.
Yeah.
There are already cat girls. You don't need to.
I know. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna bounce because it's 5.
Yeah, you were only going to hang for an hour, and you stayed for the whole thing. So hey, thanks for sticking around.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get some sleep, dude. You need to take the rest serious. I appreciate you coming on here, but take your resting serious.
I promise.
I
promise.
You better relax, or Thunderbolt will get you. You're gonna wake up in the middle and call your father, who doesn't live there anymore, and you'll say, "There's a Kahuna in the closet."
I'm sorry. There's a
well-dressed on the Star Shatter RPG.
There's a well-dressed Kahuna in my closet.
Oh, it's
that picture you did, that picture you did the other day was fantastic, dude.
It's quite awesome.
I just dropped a link to your Amazon page in the chat.
Thanks.
Goodbye now.
Thank you. Night, guys.
Good night.
Have a great night. God bless.
Night.
Good night, Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, so the Hedge made I was well dressed the other day for my stream with AC Pritchard.
Yes,
lore and writing and all that.
Kahuna.
I wanted to know if I could share that on here.
Oh, go ahead. I think it's funny. In Hedge, I did catch the little addition, like what the article was about.
Yeah.
That I was cackling, laughing on that one. It was very true to form.
Found it.
There you go. Kahuna, going commando as a lifestyle. I'm surprised. Like, frankly, I'm surprised I was wearing clothing at all in this picture.
Yeah, you are kind of overdressed for a kahuna right now, aren't you?
I have a shirt on, so yeah, a little bit. No, I gotta dress up every now and again, man, because I'm trying to grow the hair. And it makes me feel like a raggedy piece of crap. So I need to dress well occasionally to outdo that. I'm trying to get the hair to all flow back in one go, like a lion's mane. But it takes
I can see it. One day you get a job as a newscaster, and you sit there, you finish up, but they forget to turn the cameras off, and you stand up from behind the desk, and dude, you're in Donald Duck mode.
Pretty. I'll be like an anchor man down there, pretty much. Yeah.
It takes a lot of commitment. I grew my hair out long, and it took like a year. And eventually I decided I didn't like it. But it did help me find a middle ground that I like. But you gotta, there's a lot of weirdness.
I have the exact opposite problem. My hair can't stay short for more than 2 weeks, then it is long again.
Actually, when I was younger,
well, my hair is reasonably long. It's just it's curly, so it like my hair, like this hair goes down to like just shy of my mouth right now. But it needs to be quite
Irish.
Hell is Bernard.
When I was younger, I had grown my hair all the way down to my butt. And
still,
yeah, no, it's well, I chopped it I chopped it when I got married, but grew it all the way down to my butt, and then I got cancer, which required radiation therapy, and it left me bald from like the back end of my crown all the way down my neck, all the way down the back of my head and my neck. But the thing is because the hair was so long, you couldn't tell. Nobody could tell.
Long ass hair.
So I grew the hair out, and it was like this kind of this blessing that nobody could tell.
Had the world's best comb over. You just pull it over the back area, and it looked right.
It's done.
So, like, you talking like skullet level, or like how committed were we?
I mean, we're talking like it never got cut.
Yeah, that was me for 2 years. I grew my hair out for 2 years, probably roughly that long.
And yeah, it was all the way down to my butt, and yeah, I don't know. That was my young and rebellious stage, and then I got married, and that all went away.
Yeah. Oh, I just wanted to shout a channel out real quick.
Pretty much every 2 or 3 days, my entire head all the way. No reason, just it was easier for sports when I was younger. But, yeah.
I just want to do a couple quick channel shout outs. We were talking about USS Callister a little bit ago. The reason I knew about that is I came across a video from the channel Egotastic Fun Time. He primarily covers the Orville. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's a jovial guy, but that's where I found the information about USS Callister. So it's worth checking out his channel if you like Trek style things at all. So go check out Egotastic Fun Time. I love the name of that channel. That's such a cool name. And he can be just as goofy as it sounds, but he's a lot of fun. So Hedge, what have you been working on lately?
Well, I contacted an artist to draw up something for my bookmark that's going to go with the book.
Oh, nice!
The next book, yeah. So,
do you have any bookmarks of Hal Cedric's sword?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I'll drop it in the chat if I ever get a chance, because I think I have a picture of it.
There's a bookmark.
Are they for sale anywhere, or are they going to be available like with the next book?
Well, that's the thing. I can't sell them if I sell through Amazon. I can't sell the bookmark. So, when I go to conventions, I'll have the bookmarks out there, and the bookmarks have two things on them. Number one, they have a QR link to the to a link, or it has a QR code for a link to the artist that drew it. And then it has a QR link to my book on the other side of the bookmark with the name of the book that it's associated with. So that way, not only am I like promoting me, but I'm also promoting the artist as well. So it's kind of like, free advertising, I guess, or awesome. Just a little thing to help.
I was surprised to find that Teespring does not have bookmarks as something you can set up on there.
Yeah.
Which is the interesting thing is you can publish your ebooks through them. I didn't know that. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to put them on there because I'm putting a shop together. Might as well have the books available there.
Yeah, that's the other thing I want to do eventually, but I want to set up a business first, is to sell ebooks but with sales tax and all that, I'd rather set that up as a business. But anyways, so when I go to conventions, or when I go to, or will I give out books for people like to review, or people who have, helped me, it's kind of like a gift. I'll include all the bookmarks for them. And, and like every book has its own bookmark. So that way I can also, when people walk by my table at a con and they're interested, but they don't want to buy, I'll hand them the bookmarks. And I have had residual sales after conventions.
Nice.
Because, they can't buy an audiobook at a convention. So they'll go and they'll find the audiobook and buy it that way. So it's a nice thing to do, and it helps indie artists out there.
Excellent.
And they get paid for it. So
and a little on the indie artist side, I finally made my first post over on Substack.
Hooray!
Oops.
Nice.
And
Congratulations.
I wanted to show off the picture on it that James put together, because I'd like to keep reminding he does graphic design, and this is one of his pieces. If I could get the share screen to cooperate properly here.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Things can't work on this channel. What are you talking about?
You kind of got a point. All right, here we go.
Work, I'm out of here. There we go. Yeah,
there it is.
Joined the dark side
Nice.
there, man. I saw that.
Yeah, this is the axial polar alignment. This is based on an actual scientific theory that Earth was originally a satellite of Saturn. It's part of electric universe theory. Does electric universe theory have its problems? Oh, it sure does. What it shows is the standard cosmological model, and electric universe theory I thought was more fun for a sci-fi setting. So the theory goes that
the image isn't blown up on my screen. I don't know. Same for everybody else.
Oh, it's not. Nope. Oh, I see where the problem is now. Hang on.
I'm just squinting there. It looks beautiful. Oh, and now it's big.
Because when I clicked on it, it opened in a new tab. I didn't realize.
It's so
Thanks for
big.
pointing that out. Yeah.
So vast, the biggest planets, tremendous, big, beautiful orbs.
Well, the theory is that there used to be a big glow around Saturn. That's the anode glow, because the theory is everything is powered through Birkeland currents, the flow of electricity. And there was an axial alignment, which was Venus, then Mars, then Earth underneath that. I think Jupiter was behind Saturn, could not be seen, but that alignment was always seen in the northern sky, rotating like a great wheel. The theory is Saturn got too close to the sun, captured by the sun where their magnetospheres touched to reach electromagnetic equilibrium. Saturn had to drop the anode glow because of the charge differentials and everything, and became captured by the sun. That is a theory. I'm sure you could poke all sorts of holes in it, but for a sci-fi setting, I think it's a blast.
A weekly winged theory.
You kind of just have to pick your direction with sci-fi, so I think that's a wise way to go. It's like, this is my model, and this is where I'm going with.
Yep, but because of that, I can go to someone like Trippy Soul, who is an electrician, and he can help me figure out my physics pretty well. It's because of him I have my FTL system, because when someone actually knows electricity and you talk these ideas about them, they can help you figure stuff out for a story, especially when it's trippy.
Yeah, Trippy and I talk about electrical stuff. We hire electricians to come in afterwards, or we let the customer do it. My experience with electrical stuff is I can change a battery on a car, and I know how to lift a 9-volt battery. That's about it.
Yeah, if you could pull the phone a little closer, Kahuna, because you're fading out. Your voice is fading out. You're just at the edge of the microphone range there.
I did not know that, Tim Allen. Saturn has 146 moons?
I knew it had a lot. I didn't know it had that many.
I did not know it was that many.
Yeah, I think Jupiter only has, 80 something confirmed, I think.
Well, it's like in one of my favorite sci-fi stories, like they altered the planets and the moon so that they're livable now. And so it's like all these giant moons on the gas giants and like Saturn and Jupiter. It's like, yeah, it's like a good portion of those are either mining facilities or like, settlements for people. I'm like, that's such a cool idea. I don't need to know how it works, but it'd be kind of nice to know.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of aerostat colonies? The theory behind this?
I have not.
Okay, so the theory goes, so if you take Venus's atmosphere, right, which is like, I don't know, it's like 7 or 8 times denser than the Earth's. So it's like, so at the upper layers of the atmosphere, it's actually like if you go down to the surface, you will be melted and burned with acid before you even get 1 foot out of your spaceship, right? And you'll be crushed by the pressure. But at the upper layers of the Venusian atmosphere, it's actually quite pleasant. There's an oxygen layer.
California on a good day type of weather up there. Well, maybe not temperature wise. And there's some calm, I think there's some calm layers in that up in the upper atmosphere, right?
Exactly. And actually some of the planets you visit in Mass Effect have a little entry in the codex that explain aerostat colonies, which is how that was like, what's an aerostat? And I looked into it. Well, the theory goes you could basically have like a giant sort of science futuristic blimp, and it suspends like a station, like a permanent station, and the blimp is able to like float.
Bespin from Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like Cloud City from Star Wars, but the difference is it would be like a blimp that's like suspending, like a giant one that's suspending the colony, and it would just float eternally in the atmosphere.
Yeah, because I think we see things already set up like that in sci-fi in a lot of gas giant atmospheres, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like that. Like all the gas giants don't have surface, so it's like you have to have something.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
I wonder what the surface. I mean, you go down far enough, you get to the core. I wonder, is there probably the core? If you blew out all the gas atmosphere, would it look like just a terrestrial planet?
Venus?
No, gas giants.
Well, Jupiter has a nickel iron core, I think, right? So there actually is, I think it's a larger than Earth-sized, like solid mass at the core of Jupiter.
Yeah. Well, best we can tell anyway, because until somebody goes there and sticks their face in it to see,
we're
can't
pretty
really
sure
know.
about that.
Wait, guys, we're overthinking this. I think I know how we can find out for certain. Call the government. Hey, I think they found oil on Jupiter recently.
Hey, OPEC, I got this great place.
There's a war
There's
there,
nobody
and
there.
There's terrorism on Jupiter. We need to get their stat.
they need money on Jupiter for their war. Anyways,
they're being invaded by Saturn. It's a real thing, guys.
I think the most interesting, like that, because there is a planet like a solid rocky core at the center of gas giants, typically, and we know that Jupiter has one. But what's really interesting is that above that there's a layer of just liquid metallic hydrogen, which is basically hydrogen that is so densely packed and compressed it becomes liquid, and when it's in a liquid state it becomes metallic and it conducts electricity the same way metal does.
Yeah, and there was a kind of an out there theory. I think it was metallic sun theory, that the sun is that it was an interesting theory to hear about, but it is so far off base. It's like, no, but it is cool to hear alternate theories that are out there. Some of them sparks the imagination.
String theory is pretty wild. I was reading. I have to. It's hard to wrap my head around, but it's fascinating, and it would make a good model for like a science fiction universe as well. Yeah, Tim Allen, you're exactly right. Jupiter's being overrun by the Russians. The Russians are coming.
Of course.
No one expects the Russian Inquisition.
And the Third Reich is still hiding on the moon somewhere.
That's right.
Space Force.
All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to take my leave. The captain must depart.
All right. We've gone over tonight anyway. Time to wrap up. Captain, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Always fun hanging out. Just chilling.
Yeah. I'm still kind of just impressed the stamina you have with the
yes.
I don't know if it's anything to be proud of, as I forget who said when I joined the stream, you talk too much. I'm like, believe me, people who know me know. They know. They're glad I'm on YouTube.
But you can. That's the thing. I mean, if I had to monologue more than 15 minutes about something, I'm like, okay, I'm out of words. Bye.
Hand to God, like when I first did my very first live stream, because when I just record videos, I actually do struggle to like, okay, what, and I pause and I don't know what to say, and so that's the thing I'm working on. So the first
I'm really good at the pause part.
Yeah, I thought I'm not going to have anything to talk about, and I didn't have any problems, and so that's kind of a mystery to me. I just make sure I have topics.
I can tell it's just flowing naturally. You get going and you go.
I just have lots of thoughts about things. I can't help it.
Yeah. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on tonight. So thank you again, Captain,
thanks for
joining
having me,
us.
Gentlemen.
All right.
All right. Later.
Safe travels. Have a great night.
Good night.
God bless. And Tim Allen says, Cap, I wish to meet you and just chew the fat with you on one old school sci-fi.
I miss him already.
The Outer Limits was my jam when I was a kid, says Tim Allen.
What hang on, the original or the new one? The original Outer Limits or the remake?
Like everything, the original, I'm sure.
Well, he says when he was a kid, so maybe I didn't follow the Outer Limits. So when did that come out?
That came out like the early 2000s, right? Like
the original.
Yeah.
Well, the original was like I think the 50s or 60s.
Okay.
Oh,
Anglo 60s.
So it was black and white, and it started out with like a sort of like an oscilloscope signal, and it said something like, "We control the signal, we control the horizontal and the vertical, and all this other stuff." So, and they had some really, good storylines, and I do think the remake also had some really great, had some great storylines too.
You can't stop the signal now.
Can't stop the
signal. Nice reference. It's like his creepy sex bot from like way back in the day before.
We're losing you again, Kahuna.
A sex bot in a TV series way back before it was a feasible thing, and now it's like, we could do that. Darn.
Yeah, so when we're writing sci-fi, sometimes I guess we got to stop and think, do we really want to put this idea out there? They might try it.
Well, it's like, here's a question for you. Like, we had the iRobot movie. I enjoy it, but it's not nowhere near a faithful adaptation of any of the iRobot stories.
Yeah.
So, would you guys want, like, maybe a mini-series, like, faithfully adapting the iRobot book into, a TV series?
You're probably going to slap me, but the only version of iRobot I'm familiar with is the Will Smith movie.
It's a fine movie. I enjoy it, but it's not really based off of iRobot.
Yeah. Now, I enjoyed it too, but I don't know what it was based on, so I don't know how far they deviated from the source material.
Oh, it's like none of the characters, none of the plot lines. Like, iRobot the book is just a series of short stories following different groups of people and robots in different situations. And basically, it's almost like a contemplative collection of short stories. Like, this is how this could be. Like, and how would people react in this situation? It's like, what happens when the robots are functioning as they should, but then the atmosphere, like, say, of Venus, actually, in one of the stories, is messing with the way their systems work. Like, but then you, like they're malfunctioning, but then you're also relying on them to save you because you're in a tough spot. And so, like, there are things like that, or, like secretly replacing members of a staff on this outer, this mining colony base in the middle of space. And then the robot's starting to gain sentience, but without authorization. It's like, how do you react to that? And, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. But, yeah. Actually, if anyone wants a different kind of take on like an iRobot kind of story, there's a book I read last year called The Sea of Rust.
You're fading out again, Kahuna.
Oh,
way out.
There's a book I read last year that called The Sea of Rust. It's really interesting.
Bless this man's heart.
Not working. Not working.
No, you're fading out like a bad drive-through speaker. Actually, no, you're clear. You're clearer than a bad drive-through speaker, but your voice keeps just. It's like somebody's turning the volume down while you talk.
I mean, it is StreamYards. They probably are. Like, wow,
yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
every time you go to say something bad about StreamYard, the sound goes down.
Every time we talk about Stream.
Let's stop stressing StreamYard. It's probably about time to start wrapping up. So I'm going to start the outro music.
Absolutely.
James, it's shilling time because you're in the bottom right corner. So we're starting with.
Chill, James. Chill.
Name's James Esparza. Come check out my stuff at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com. Recently released my very first short story. It's fully cast, and so it's lovely and dramatized. You got all these people speaking, and it's for free at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com, where I'm trying to release as much short stories and turning them all into audiobooks as quickly as I possibly can. Come join a freaking awesome world, or come explore an awesome world of adventure and terror of every single genre you could possibly imagine, somehow coalescing and working in synchronicity together in this super awesome world that I cannot wait to continue to unveil to you, gentlemen. That's my show right there.
And you still do have one of the best looking Substacks out there.
Thank you, sir.
For the ones I've seen anyway. I'm sure there's plenty of others, but between you and Trippy, it's tough for me to tell who. Yeah, you guys got some nice looking Substacks.
I have tens of gigabytes of art nobody has ever seen yet because characters have not been appropriately introduced yet. So it's going to be a journey.
All right. Let's see. Where'd he go? Okay, Kahuna.
Alrighty, fellas. Yep, you can find me at the Ultimate Kahuna YouTube channel. The Ultimate Kahuna on Twitter. Mostly just to shill about my YouTube channel and to yell at people who disagree with me. But, you know.
Well, what's kind of cool with the way you're fading out, you got that speaker voice, and it sounds like monster truck type thing. So give us a good Sunday,
monster truck rally.
Down and dirty in the mud.
And you know what grows out of that mud? A hedge. Herman, what you got going on?
Buy my books. I'm still writing, or still getting my third book ready to go out. Be out May 2024. So
nice.
And the trailer should be dropping this month.
And just to be clear, he writes new adult paranormal romance and nothing else.
What he said.
Just like what we heard.
We just heard, just to be clear, and blank,
I heard the most beautiful
else.
words. They were so beautiful, nobody could hear them. Only us.
There's beautiful, unspeakable words that YouTube won't let flow through the airways.
I actually cried when he said it. It was beautiful, man. It's so beautiful.
Frederick!
Yeah, I'm working on a commission.
Rattel, right?
Rattel Comic. You can go to imakecomics.com and it'll take you there. And I also do commissions. I'm working on a commission for our man James right here. Some of his characters that you probably haven't seen yet. And I have an 8-page comic to be featured in Anvil #3 coming this month.
Ooh. Anvil, nice. And I don't know why this tab just popped out of my window and won't get back in there.
Sorry.
Dang it, I hate going boomer. I was trying to do that. There we go. There we go. Rattel. Or am I saying it right? Is it Rattel or Rattel or?
Yeah, Rattel is basically, it's the French name for honey badger. So our hero is He's got the spirit of a honey badger.
Yeah, you don't want to piss them off either. All right. Readout.
Well, I'm in grind mode right now at Readout Productions, trying to crank out as much content relating to historical education as possible. Retracing History goes live every Saturday. That's our flagship show. We also have been uploading clips from our live streams every Tuesday. And we have our live stream every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we had a special live stream yesterday with Captain Garrett. So if you want to, after this, listen to Captain Garrett talk for several more hours, go over to my channel and you can listen to yesterday's stream. And I mean that in the best way possible. It was a great stream.
It really was.
And since Billy's not here, I'm gonna do his part as well. Kapla, kapla, kapla. You can find Billy at Only Gremlins. The link is in the description below. And kapla.
All right.
It's just not the same.
No.
And don't forget to check out. There we go.
No.
Ellie Star Bad Kitty, a good family-friendly sci-fi adventure, great for all ages. Whether you're youngin' or you're on in years, it's still a good time. There's lots to enjoy for everybody in there, and you can share it with your family. No worries, nothing inappropriate. It's just a straight up good sci-fi fantasy fun time. And also, I guess I should get used to saying this. Check out my Substack and also the merch shop. Links are all in the description below. Links for everyone on panel tonight. I don't have Black Knight's links in there yet. I got to get that in. But for everyone else and Captain Garrett, I will put their links in after the show. Everyone else's links should already be in the description below. So you can check them out. Go see what they're working on. You might find your new favorite down there in those links. Go check it out. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like. And if you didn't, I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time. And God bless.
Good night.
Look at that logo. Beautiful logo. Who made that logo?
By James Esparza. Esparza Graphic Design. It kind of has a nice ring to it.
Jewish space lasers.
Good night, everybody.